to the Purim Show. We are coming to you today from the Richville United Methodist Church, and we're going to talk about their clothing ministry. My first guests are Pastor Rod Tornquist and Terry Sullivan. Terry is a volunteer here for the clothing ministry. And let's start with you, Pastor Rod, and talk about where this germinated.
Well, it began as just part and parcel of what Jesus calls us to do in the gospel, and that's to bring good news to the poor. Much of the conviction that at least I see in the New Testament about the ministry of Christ and the gospel message itself has to do with how we relate to the poor, caring for the needs of the poor, and promoting justice in the world. And we simply decided that as a congregation that we needed to do something practical and concrete in order to meet those needs of the people in our community. So we began in a very small little shed that we bought from one of our church members, and we quickly moved out of that little shed into a trailer house across the street over here, and from there it's blossomed into the basement ministry that you see now.
Now, how long has the ministry been active? I mean, I know that there's a lot of planning and preparation and maybe even some convincing people that this is a good way to go, and that all takes time. How long has this been going on?
Well, we initially began the ministry in April of 2001.
Okay.
We had several volunteers who formed a board. Mary Hine, Winnie Hoovey, Esther Berry, Larry Hine were on that initial board. That was an important part of the very beginning of this ministry.
Okay, well, now Terry, with all of the changes that have happened with the ministry, I know that the growth can be exciting, but also expensive. I know that you're a volunteer in the clothing ministry and hands-on, but you've also had some behind-the-scenes impact too on the clothing ministry.
Yes, the challenges we look at challenges as opportunities.
Very good.
And we really needed to expand. We were only on half of this basement side, and we were just on tables, and it was not as organized, but we saw the need, and the community has really been responsive. So we decided that we would expand it to the other side of the basement.
Okay.
And in order to do that, we needed some funds, some significant funds. So we wrote grants to Bremer Bank and Lake Region Electric, and they provided significant funds for us to do the ceiling and the floors, and provide all of the display areas, the display units, which is really important. And I think that makes it so much easier for our clients to be able to select what they want, and for us to display it too.
Now, I know that when you say we wrote grants, my dad used to tell me, if you don't toot your horn, sometimes your horn will go untooted. But are you the person who wrote the grants?
Sure, I wrote the grants.
Okay.
But this is really, everyone uses their skills to a common goal.
Well,
that's what we're all about here.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said we, because it was a group effort. Sure, I put the figures down and sent it in.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Well, and how nice to get that community support.
It's wonderful.
And in a financial way as well.
It's very supportive. The community has been very supportive in many ways.
Now, you also work as a volunteer in the. Do you call it a store?
Oh, yes. Clothing distribution, clothing mission.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you work here, and so you're meeting with the public as well.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Now, Pastor Rod, where do you see this going next?
Well, there's been a lot of opportunity to branch off into furniture and other things, but really what's happening here is that we're coming together with the rest of the Purim community, and other churches are providing the things that we are unable to provide due to space, or those things it's being picked up by the other churches in our ministerium. So it's really a community-wide effort to meet the needs of anybody who comes into our community, whether it be the food shelf with food, furniture through Calvary Lutheran, clothing through our church, children's clothing and children's needs through the Alliance Church in Perham, and other ministries. I don't mean to indicate that that's exhaustive. That's just simply a very small representation of what's taking place community-wide.
So even though we have this central location in Richville, this is actually a region-wide. Many communities involved in this.
It is, and we have people who are meeting regularly to communicate about these ministries so that we aren't duplicating services, so that we aren't redundant in what we're trying to do with the people in the community. And consequently, it's just been a wonderful ecumenical effort on the part of all the churches.
Well, that's great power when you join together. Yeah. We're going to come back and we're going to talk to a couple of gals who are actually feet on the ground running this operation here at the Richville United Methodist Church Clothing Ministry. So stick with us. Welcome back. We are at the Richville United Methodist Church talking about the clothing ministry, and I have Mary Hine and Winnie Hoovey here with me who help to coordinate the effort that many communities can take advantage of this amazing facility. Now, I'm not sure which of you I should talk to first about, but Mary, I have got to say that when I walk through here, I am so impressed with how well organized that everything is. The display racks, and are you responsible for that?
Well, partly. It's mostly our volunteers that do the work here. And if it wasn't for the volunteers, we would not have this kind of organization.
It's so nice to come into whether it's a thrift store or a rummage sale or your clothing ministry and not feel like you have to dig through several racks of women's pants to find the ones that might fit you, you know, and oftentimes that's the case. But you have everything sized.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, and you also offer not just, you know, women's or men's or children's, but I noticed that you've got toys and dishes and...
Yes, we have a little play area here because we have families with small children that come and they can go and play in the play area while the mothers do their shopping.
How many counties do you think that you're serving now with the Richville Clothing Ministry?
We serve 5 counties, Otter Tail, Wilkin, Wadena, Todd County, Becker.
Becker? Okay. I'm right on the line there, so I call myself Beckertail. So that kind of counts as one county right there. Winnie, now can you give me a sense of give me some statistics. How many people are you reaching?
Well, this last year we had over 1,500 people come in, and we gave out about 14 tons of clothes. We kind of average about 7 pounds a bag. So that's a lot of bags of clothes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you about when you're open? People are going to want to know when they can come to Richville and find volunteers here.
Okay, we're open on Tuesdays from 1 to 4, and on Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 8. And we are emergency. Pastor will call, say there's an emergency, and somebody will come and help with the emergency if it's a fire or need for stuff right away.
Can you give me an idea of prices, or how does that work?
Prices? No price.
No prices.
No price. We do have a volunteer or a donation jar. If people want to give a donation, that's fine. No, we don't. People bring their clothes in and we give them out.
That's amazing.
Yeah. My husband said to me, well, what are you going to do when you run out of clothes? I said, I don't think we're ever going to run out. We've never been short of anything yet. I shouldn't say that because we do run out of bedding and stuff like that, but we put the call out, and a lot of the other churches come forward with the bedding or children's clothes. Those are the ones that we get low on. And we have, our volunteers are not just Methodists. We have from a variety of churches that come in to volunteer, and we have about between 25 and 30 volunteers that help us at not all at the same time, but they're here. So
it is the old adage, give till it feels good, and so people are giving of their clothing,
they do,
their
yes,
time,
yes,
their money,
yes.
But the people who need things can come in and for a free will donation or
just free. They
come
don't
in
have
for what they need.
Right. We don't ask for anything.
Perfect,
just
perfect.
be there to serve them and hope we can help them.
That's great. Now, Mary, if there's if those hours don't work for somebody, or if they need immediate assistance, like Winnie had mentioned, if there was an emergency, is there a phone number that people can call?
Oh, yes, they can call the church here.
Okay.
346-5656.
Okay.
And somebody will come and open up and let them in.
So we're talking your regular hours, but also by appointment.
Yes.
Well, thank you both so much for being with us on the Purim Show and the wonderful work that you are doing. And I hope that you out there will take time to come on over to the Richville United Methodist Church, check out their clothing ministry, see how you can help, see how you can benefit. Thanks so much for tuning in.